Welcome back to the Multiverses Yay or Nay series, and today we got a brand new character like we do every weekend, and this time we're going over a possibly forgotten relic of the past. That would be Space Ghost. I'm very curious, very keen to see people's opinions on this character. Do people even remember Space Ghost? I don't know. So we'll give him his own episode. Let's see how he fares. As always, the Yay or Nay series down in the comments. You as the viewer and commenter, just say yay, you want to see Space Ghost as a playable character, or nay, you do not want to see him playable. But this video will go over some moveset ideas. We'll go over some alternate costumes, some cosmetics, some, the whole gist. What could Space Ghost possibly bring with him if he was playable in multiverses? So let's start with the moveset, and the first three moves are all going to be, kind of the same thing. Maybe there's a way you can kind of switch between the three of them. So Space Ghost has these power bands on his wrist, and that's kind of what gives him some of his power. So up first, his stun ray. This is self-explanatory. All animations are going to be practically the same. Going to kind of point his fist forward, taps on his wrist, and out comes the stun ray. And if it hits the opponent, well, then they get stunned for a second or two, whatever it might be. But same thing. For his freeze beam, points his fist forward, taps his wrist, and out comes a freezing beam. And this one, well, maybe it automatically freezes on point, or maybe it's a little like, maybe it does damage and it's got a little bit of knockback to it, but maybe it also kind of works somewhat the way Superman's neutral special, his freeze breath, works. Maybe you got to rack up stacks of this over and over, so it's got to be like a continuous freeze beam in order to completely freeze over the opponent. So maybe there's that. But then he also has just a regular laser beam. So, these are all pretty much the same attack. The Space Ghost show had kind of limited animation. So this move, again, is all the same thing, but, animation was limited. So they had to change colors to make things a little bit different. So again, these are all three different ideas. You could all work this into a neutral special. Maybe it's a drop-down menu. Maybe it just rotates. The first one is a stun. Second time you fire, it's going to be the freeze beam. Maybe the third time is then the laser beam. Who knows, but he does have variations of this attack, so I figured you got to get it in there somewhere because, well, these are a lot of his main powers. Move idea number 2, and I hope this is at least kind of creative. So I'm using Blip the Monkey for this one. So I imagine this one as possibly a jab combo, his side ground attack. So Space Ghost, jab attack 1, 2, and 3, all going to be like a, punch, and kick or something like that. But the third, we're going to have a fourth one on this, okay? There's going to be a fourth jab attack. So Space Ghost is going to do jab 1 is going to be a punch, then jab 2 is going to be a second punch, and then jab 3 is going to be like a kick where he, ends up kicking the opponent forward. But then the fourth one, if you press the attack button a fourth time, Blip the Monkey appears from using his invisibility belt. Well, I guess he kind of makes himself reappear, but then Blip himself will either grab the opponent, maybe bite them, or does his own little punch. So this, I don't know, I thought this would be kind of fun. Just when you think you're safe, you get kicked away and you're like, oh, okay, whatever. Space Ghost is able to have a fourth move in his jab combo or his side ground attack where Blip appears and then does a little bit of damage. I thought this would be kind of fun, get the monkey involved because everybody likes monkeys, right? Move idea number 3. Again, limited animation in the show, so we got to kind of go with what we see. So how about some sort of flying punch? Maybe this is just his up special. He goes flying straight upwards, just fist pointed upwards, or whichever direction you angle it in, just a flying fist forward. Again, trying to do what I can with what the show provided, but Space Ghost, he's a superhero, so you kind of understand he's gonna have his super strength and durability and all that sort of stuff, but for moveset wise, it's a little on the slim side for Pickens, but hopefully these at least make sense. And then move idea number 4, we mentioned Blip can be invisible. He's got the invisibility belt. Well, so does Space Ghost. So how do you use invisibility? I don't know. Maybe he goes flying and you just press the attack button and he becomes invisible for a set amount of time. So if you go flying forward, imagine this is like his side ground attack, right? And not sorry, side special. Maybe that's on the ground and in the air. But he goes flying forward, and if you press the attack button one more time, he becomes invisible for like 1 or 2 seconds. So that way, if you think the opponent's about to catch you with a move, turn yourself invisible. You're gonna have no hit boxes, no hurt boxes. The opponent can't touch you. So it's almost like you could kind of bait the opponent with this as well. Does that make sense? You know, I got to kind of get a little creative with it. So hopefully, again, like the last move, hopefully this kind of made sense. But I don't know. I think it fits. Now let's move on to some alternate costumes, followed by, well, cosmetics and other things. But so alternate costume idea number 1 is going to be his future quest look, and that's where I guess he's unmasked in this one as well, but he's kind of got is it green and orange? I'm colorblind, so hopefully those are the correct colors, but he's got the main green suit, and then his arms and legs are in the orange color, so it's just an idea. Space Ghost is a little tough for alternate costumes, but I think I found a couple that make sense. So future quest, hopefully this works. And then I think a second one that would be really cool. Anybody remember this? I had to go digging for this one, but I did finally find it. He kind of made like a little cameo appearance, kind of. Well, yeah, it was. But in Powerpuff Girls. So what if you give him like the cartoon or the Powerpuff Girls art style for Space Ghost? Make him look like this. I don't know what you would call it. Cartoonified? I guess. No, this one, you can't use Tooniverse because that's something different. I don't know. Powerpuff Girls version of Space Ghost would be kind of fun. If Space Ghost was playable, I'd buy this. This would be pretty cool. I like this, so I had to include it. Now let's move on to, I guess, a losing animation idea and then a winning animation idea. Although maybe you could make the second one a taunt. I don't know. We'll get to it. And then we got a couple of cosmetics that might come with him, like player profile icons. But up first, losing animation idea. Him at his desk from Space Ghost Coast to Coast, and he just got his head in his hand going, you know, like we could have done so much better. You know, that just went terribly. Like, how bad was it? Something along the lines of that. I think this is a very, very fitting losing animation, so had to go with that one. But then maybe a winning animation could be him once again at his desk, just sipping on his coffee mug, just taking a nice little swig of, well, coffee, I assume, or whatever's in the mug. But just a nice little winning animation, you know, maybe feet up on the desk, kind of relax, like, yeah, that was a good day's work. We just picked up a nice win, and now I get to enjoy a nice, I don't know, refreshing beverage, whatever it is. And then a couple player profile icons very quickly. You could get this one, just the image of him and his team kind of flying through the air. So, I don't know, it'd be nice, you know, cool reference to the, you know, the rest of the cast or rest of the main cast that's with him, I suppose. Or there's also this one. I mentioned Blip earlier for one of the moves. What if Blip got his own little profile icon? It'd be kind of fun. Rock a little monkey for a while. Why not? I'd buy it. I don't think it'd probably be maybe a rare at most. Nothing crazy, but you know, just a nice little nod to some of the characters on the show. So, I mean, isn't that what kind of player icons and player banners are for? To get more references for shows and characters that aren't playable, at least. And that is pretty much gonna be it for this one. So Space Ghost, for me, he actually gets a yay. I'd love to see this dude interact with a lot of the newcomers, a lot of the cast currently in the game. So that'd be really fun for me. So he does get a yay. I can't wait to see what everyone thinks. How highly is he going to place? We'll find out next week. I'll have the updated stats next weekend. So, and that should include, who do we have last week? Pennywise, I think. So Pennywise should be updated as well as the rest of the cast. But that is going to be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed as always. And I guess I'll see you when I'm looking at you.